All right. Welcome everybody to Materia 5e, where we play D&D the way we want to. Uh, this is actually session 75.
Yep.
So another, I don't know, pseudo milestone, if you were. Getting closer and closer to 100, which is still kind of insane to me. But hell, I love it. So last time, or most recently, the Menagerie have run amok amongst the boulder fields of the eastern side of the ogre and giant occupied Green Hill. The boulder fields are a almost like an internment camp, essentially constructed near the city, however, still out of ways, beyond the portions that have been completely claimed by the ogre tribes, marching past different banners and standards, uh, even buildings that are now being repurposed for different things based on what ogre logic implies. These almost structure like complex made of huge boulders, averaging 12 to 15 feet tall. Uh, some of them are just as wide. The menagerie, under the guise of Sister Agathor, a personality created by your tiefling bard Allegretto, uh, using disguise self, managed to enter the Boulder Fields with the menagerie in tow as his entourage or her entourage and protection. Here they interacted with the sister Nutra, who has dominion over the Boulder Fields, um, a human follower of the Mother of Bounties who ended up being cruel and enjoyed breaking people. Uh, Issues arose while the menagerie were amongst the Boulder Fields. Um, Not violently initially. However, some of the entourage were separated, uh, and then later an escape plan was made to help get as many civilians out from the pins that were created from just these boulders. The civilians are under terrible conditions, exhausted, dirty, exposed to the elements, oddly enough, well fed, seemingly going along with a theme of this area. Um, then an escape was attempted and initially looked like it was going successfully. However, eventually the giant on watch noticed, roared the alarm, and conflict ensued. Uh, Sadly, very few of the individuals that the menagerie attempted to rescue made it out, but less than a dozen, but more than, I think, a handful made it out, and the menagerie followed into, and linked up with these individuals. There, the menagerie learned a little bit of what was going on. Um, However, there were two individuals that they knew very well. Uh, the Kenku cartographer, mapmaker Jade, and the Orcish apothecary slash tinkerer, owner of the what was it, Bone Hook and Tonic, I think it was. Grung were there, and after hearing some of their accounts of what was going on, Grung also informed the menagerie that there's something wrong with the bounty and the food and everything, and that it seemed to conduct energy, react to kinetic forces and such. Well, he displayed it to the group. Yeah, fish bones and tonics. Thank you. Fish bones and tonics. Yeah, yeah. But that the food was odd. There's something off about it, and this kind of tracks with some of the other things that members of the menagerie had seen. Be it when the food was rotting, Al and Rock saw that it was almost glowing, giving off magical energy with the detect magic spell. Tej had gotten ominous feelings from the foods and the individuals that were providing the food via his detect evil and good. So the menagerie decided to allow those individuals that escaped to stay in a tree area about 30 minutes away from the boulder fields where they had shade and protection, but decided that it was time for them to go back to the boulder fields and attempt to rescue whoever else was left. Uh, when they got to the boulder fields, it was quiet. It was easy enough for them to get back on the boulders and start moving around. The carnage and the devastation and just the sheer loss of life still on display as they passed. Mangled corpses, blown up individuals, charred husks of bodies, and multiple felled giants. Scouting forward, the menagerie eventually got to a portion of the boulder field that they had not been to. There, the smell of iron and blood in the air alerted them as they saw many more individuals that seemingly were held here on the other part of the boulder fields killed. The ogres that were still remaining at the boulder fields saw the menagerie, began to hurl javelins and rush after them. The menagerie fought back with spells and began to retreat until an individual that Davis had encountered at their first trip to the boulder fields materialized next to Allegretto and gave him a crushing hug. That's when the menagerie were introduced the first time, all of them, to a giant hag, nameless, cunning, and tricky. As the menagerie attempted to flee, she invoked some sort of magics that caused all the boulders to start to light up with glyphs previously unnoticed or unseen. And as the light swelled and blinded everybody, Rock firing one last fireball before the light enveloped him. We pick up now with, well, what the menagerie and is exposed to. Someone joined. Did CJ join? TJ joined? No, it's Tia.
Yeah.
Tia, you gotta wake up. You gotta wake him up. You gotta go find CJ and wake him up, Tia. So.
I'm at my house today.
Oh. Yeah. Start calling him like every 5 minutes. I believe in you. No, whatever. Yeah, he had a hard day, I'm sure. All right, cool. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll just go ahead and start with well, what the menagerie minus Rock sees. So 2Ds. Switch it over. Thank you, Danny, for the ethereal version of this map.
Oh yeah.
So all right, so Rock is technically not here. Where is Dregnar? Did Dregnar get carried over? There he is.
Yeah,
He's all
he's
the
up
way
top.
up to the map. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So
For some reason, it's loading in kind of pixely still for me. Like
yeah, same. I don't know why. I'll refresh.
Yeah.
Roll 20 real quick.
I know there's a higher res version.
Yeah. I don't think it was this pixely when I loaded it in originally. If it is, I can always try to adjust it later. Yeah, I don't know why it's being so pixely. Yeah.
So refreshing didn't help.
No, actually. And it looked good earlier when I was testing stuff. I'll figure it out later, but hey, it's still.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hazy, so you know.
Yeah, it works.
It's fitting.
Yeah, it works. Let's get.
Nice job on redoing the little gaps.
Well, if you recall, Davis.
Yeah, they were green on the other ones. So.
Yeah, and if you recall, Davis, you saw the boulders on both sides.
Right.
So, yes, as you emerge, as vision returns to everybody, You are actually interesting. Oink. Time to move everybody. Alt. Dunk. 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 And we'll say Davis and Dregnar together.
Aw,
The
buddies.
cage is big enough for them. And then I'm just gonna pretend that
no.
this little stone pit is a cage right here.
I've been manhandled.
Yep. So you don't know how long it's been. As you stir to consciousness, all of you roughly come to consciousness around the same time. The terrain around you is hazy and of different colors. Instead of the vibrant greens and browns and that, it seems foreign, alien, purples and grays. There is this perpetual greenish, bluish fog and aurora-like mist all around you. As some more of your consciousness comes to, and you just begin to check your persons, most of what you had on you is, well, missing. Any semblance of weapons have been taken. Sej, as you had the bag of holding, it has been taken.
No.
Davis, however, you do feel the connection with your weapon still.
Cool.
Ah.
Presumably they tried to take it and it just fell to the ground and went blah, blah, blah.
Something like that, yeah. Or as you went unconscious, it just kind of...
Yeah.
Well, who knows? You were not conscious for that. Al, you check your neck. Hans is not there. Yeah, you guys have been basically stripped and left with just your whatever undergarments you have to protect yourselves from your armors, or if you had like basic leathers, they left that on you.
Oh, no armor. Shit.
Yeah, they stripped you guys.
Big question
As you... Mm-hmm.
about my pants.
Yes. No, they did not take your pants.
Oh, thank God.
That's
You
a
have your
really
harem
big quote.
pants.
Big question about my pants.
It just happened to be that, they didn't see they just thought you had some weird pants on, my friend.
Thank goodness. All right.
Uh-huh. Because it's interesting. The pants themselves don't give off a magic aura until you rip off the patch. It's a weird thing, at least. So you don't. So yeah. Y'all all feel still tired, beaten. Al, your ribs are hurting. And as you start to come to consciousness, you all see yourselves in cages of cold metal and weaved in with bone. What would you guys like to do?
Can I look around my area to see like what is around me at all, or is the fog that thick?
No. You can see through the fog. It probably limits your vision to about you'd estimate like 60 or so feet. But yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check.
On character with me, I always forget to pop out my character sheet.
You good? And just
Are you
remember,
using-
it's
And you're using D&D Beyond or Roll 20? Because the D&D Beyond
Roll
sheet-
20. I like having the pop out roll 20 sheet.
okay. Just remember that the numbers are going to be slightly different. I think I don't remember if I updated yours to level
Can I
9.
sniff so I get my bonus too?
Yeah, sure, go for it. But what are you? I guess I should ask. What are you trying to sniff out then? Like,
I'm
specifically?
just coming to, and my stuff is gone, and I'm in a strange place. So I'm kind of
Just
just
trying to.
ascertain what the fuck is happening and where I am, and information
Okay.
gathering, because that's kind
Gotcha.
of like natural, I guess, right?
No, yeah. You're just trying to get your bearings. So, 23 total. Nice. Okay. Let's just make sure that is correct. Just to make sure, I think it is. Let's say, yeah, so 23 total is correct. Yeah, Sedge, as you kind of sniff and kind of take in, it smells foreign. It smells alien. You've never been anywhere like this. It's familiar yet off. It's almost there, almost right. The air is just a little off. The ground doesn't smell exactly correct, as you're expecting. And as you're kind of looking and seeing, you do start with the 23. You do start to see your friends, and they're all coming to as well. And even beyond, yeah, you do start to see kind of where the pinnacle rock was, further down, where the sermon was seemingly given on the material plane, and Pebble had interrupted it. Corpses of, well, ogres that seemingly got sucked into the same situation as you did, but they didn't make it. All these should have X's, but I didn't do that. Also looking around, you're wise enough, and you kind of look, and it is eerily similar to what you've had seen as you're kind of looking across, and you kind of recognize the shape of the boulders and kind of the area you're in. And you look up and you see that cauldron that all of you had seen earlier. However, the tent is missing, and there are circles on the ground of various design. You can't really get the best view of them, but that cauldron is still there. The aura, the aurora-like mist is ever present.
So do any of us see like? I mean, so I see this pog here, obviously, but do we see that figure here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as you are starting to come to, and there starts to be movement in your cages, the bloated, oversized giant hag starts to walk over as she hears the sound of your trunk sniffing. This one starts to wake. And she starts kind of stomping over to the other cage, and then with her like crooked staff of bone and other unidentified real like material starts to rattle on your cage, Davis and Dragnar. And she just, I caught you, tricky one.
I'm completely silent.
While she's far away, can I try to standard cast Detect Magic?
Yeah, let me make sure.
There's no material.
There we go. That's the big thing. So, yeah, if
So
it doesn't have,
his component pouch is gone, I assume.
yes, they,
Womp womp.
yeah,
Local somatic should be good.
yep. So you're able to, all right, yeah, you're able to, Al, the cages are magical, the boulders are magical, the cauldron is magical, the circles on the ground are magical, the mist is magical.
Oh, this is just a cluster of color.
It's actually, since you did that, go ahead and give me a Arcana check
Okay.
or investigation, your choice, whichever one you prefer.
Oh, they're the same. I'll do Arcana.
Okay.
I'm
trying
gonna
to-
guidance myself under like.
Sure.
I'm trying to figure out if at proficiency I gain anything with the quote unquote level up. Yeah, because I had a couple.
Yes, because it would jump it, bounce it up. Yeah, so just -1, whatever you have on your sheet.
17.
Nice, 17. The aura, the mist, the aurora mist. It's very it has elements that remind you of the energies that you saw at Deeproot when y'all blinded yourselves. it's just that whole swirling mass of different types of energies. However, it's just like in the form, it's actually taken like a form in this mist.
Okay, you mean like the aurora kind of waves? That's kind of
Yeah.
form. Okay.
Yeah. So like if you remember when you were in Deeproot and like all of you that could detect magic eventually did, and you saw how blinding and blistering it was, that sheer just like swirl of magic energy. It's like this here, but not nearly as intense. And then, like, if you recall, some of the hags were siphoning the energy to the mills, and then using the mills to distribute stuff. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, the cage, like I said, is magical. Sej, yeah, you're able to. Here, you're able to still feel that little bit of connection with the sun, as again, everything just seems to be just a little bit off. Like you're just on another layer of an onion, if you were.
The sun is still with me.
You looking around immediately, now that you guys have kind of taken a little bit of stock, Rock is missing.
Am I able to see Al on the other side, or is that too far? 60
Let's
feet, you say?
see. Yeah.
70.
Nope.
Yeah, you're able to make out that there's a cage, but you're not able to make out who's in it.
And Marb could
Okay.
see for sure.
Yeah, Marb can see because he's got his crazy eyes. Oh, actually, no, he doesn't have his crazy eyes because his
Oh,
dagger
his
is
dagger's
missing.
got. Oh, but he can know. He knows where it is though.
Yes, he knows exactly where it is.
So, question:
Oh.
where is it?
Oh
so
yeah,
I don't
you
think
are
we
playing
can
Marb.
ascertain that until he talks to us.
Yeah, well, whoever's
Right.
running Marb.
I was. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a
that makes
beyond.
much more
Yeah,
sense.
it's somewhere on the other side of this wall.
To the east or what? Which
Oh,
one?
do you not see my ping? Oh, sorry.
Well, I'm purposely like not looking
Okay, I
over
got
here
you.
because I know we're not supposed to see it yet.
Gotcha. And I actually didn't realize that they're not on that right layer. Boop, 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 boop. There you go. I just realized layers were off. Yeah, just somewhere in a pile. You can look now, Davis, if you want. I don't mind. It's
Okay.
somewhere, almost like where you are, Davis.
Uh-huh.
Just kind of across the wall. There seems
Like
to be
over here somewhere?
more.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
like somewhere around here. It's
Okay.
hard, you know. So she will start to like walk
Although,
more.
well, I
Mhm.
guess it foregoes the material component of locate object for
Yes.
as
Yeah.
part. Okay. Okay.
It's as if cast.
Gotcha.
So her voice, this large entity, will start to cut through the mist. All of you are able to see her, and as as she kind of moves through, you see the mist kind of, and the auras kind of move around her, and say to you guys, essentially, just kind of addressing the group, like, you bunch. She kind of cracks her neck and are truly a tricky and bold lot. Easily the ones responsible for the assault and the murder of so many newcomers to this town. Did you really think that your actions would not have repercussions? Both in
Murder?
town. Did you say that?
Yeah.
Murder. Yeah. So she'll kind of take a couple steps over here. Yes. Why, my halfkin. Clearly, this group must be the ones, this tricky group, responsible for felling some of our giants and some of our ogrekin. Tej, you were not a part of this, so I can understand why it's a little bit confusing.
Mm-hmm.
He was part of some of it, right? Outside of the fish hook. Or the bronze hook, sorry.
Yes. But the giant part of
But
this,
yeah, that's true.
except for here. And then, yes. She kind of smiles at you. Murder.
Do you think what you've done here is just?
Oh, this is repercussions for your actions.
What about those who are being re-educated?
Oh, they are but given a chance to live better lives, to bear new fruit.
And if they say no?
Well, they have a time, and if not, well, we could only have so much patience. And there are a lot of, well, hungry bellies that are quite tired of tubers and roots. A little protein never hurt. Still, needlessly, they died. For they were, and she kind of puts her fingers, this close, many of them, this close, to embracing the bounty and being part of our great harvest. Shame that their belief extinguished before our mother could taste their faith. Yet, no matter, because there are many, many devout to our matron. If you're proficient in religion or arcana, y'all can give me a check while she's doing her standard villainous monologue.
Ooh.
Bam, bam, bam.
Nice, natural 20, 25. Oh, Al, consistent. Okay. So, Al, it would have been a little bit easier for you because you've been investigating this stuff for a time. Sej, with your natural 20, both of you recall, Al, you recall from the notes and your studies and your interactions with the swamp hags and the previous, all this, what has been your life for the past almost, well, like month and a half, right? Sej, in your travels, you talk, you listen, and many tales that seem odd, bizarre, kooky, seem out of place, but you've always had your patience and enjoyed to listen to it. As the sun basks over everything, you listen to anything that the sun deems appropriate. The matron, the mother, the one that they are talking about, is not this mother of bounties. It's quite obvious to you two that she's referring to the hag mother, the one that created the hags, the one that, well, created this entire area in her banishment. That, when Saj with that religion roll, you pick up that they are definitely manipulating faith here to gain some sort of power or sway. They basically catfished a religion.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say hag mother or mothers?
Mother, the hag mother, the
I thought I heard that. I got scared.
yeah, the demigod, the demigoddess, the progenitor of all hags. That's apparently the some of the prime pantheon sought to banish her at one point, and then in that event caused the land to ripple and bubble in turmoil, creating all the hills, and then all that energy in Deeproot Al was the result of her banishment. Just latent energy that just had to be used to get rid of her. So, yes. So, but rest easy, knowing that their meat and their bones, as I've mentioned, will not go to waste. And the kin from, well, both my halves shall indulge. For we have been at this for longer than she kind of looks around. I would guess any of you have been on materia. Been a process. A slow game for us sisters to work at. But, you know, as of anyone tending to a garden, using our tender hands to prune, and, well, the energies that were so cruelly used against, well, the mother, to nurture this land, to get it ready. Such a cruel, cruel thing they did to the sweet, but stern and misunderstood mother. Anyone doing anything or listening?
So,
Just kind of
So
walking
just
around.
listening intently, but also gathering thoughts.
Yeah.
so theoretically, Marb is actually 100% blind right now.
Yes.
Okay. I mean,
I was blind.
yeah, you can still hear fine and everything, but he just can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Marb is blind. So
and-
Marb can like feel the cage around him and all that.
Right,
but-
and I was thinking he could potentially cast detect magic, but I believe it essentially interweaves with your sight, so I think it would
Yes,
be
exactly.
worthless. Okay, so he wouldn't do
Yeah.
that then.
He would not benefit from it. So like
Right, he
Marb
would know that.
Well,
I don't know. Unless you want me to make
as
him
the
an
one
arcana check.
No, it's fine. I'm not gonna be that mean. I'm not gonna be that mean, but
I mean, he is desperate, so if you want.
you're more than welcome to. Yeah.
Sure,
I
I'll
mean,
do it. Let's see, if I can at least beat a 10 on an arcana check.
sure.
Let's do that. I did, so yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I
But
rolled
he's
a
kinda-
14. So.
Yeah, Marb is just kind of, and then it clicks with him. He's like, "Oh, it's like magic." But wait, I use my eyes.
Yeah, no,
my eyes
I
are
won't
over
see anything. Damn it.
there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so like the only thing he even like quote unquote sees is essentially like that fucking blip where the dagger is.
Essentially, yeah. It's like he's covered in darkness, but there's always just this constant little just ping of
Yeah.
mental light, essentially, just reminding him where that dagger is.
Yeah, so I don't know if Sedge could see, but yeah, so Marb will just probably constantly be fumbling, trying to get the layout of like his cage and like check and make sure the lock, like tug on the lock, see if it's like, actually sure,
Yeah.
he'll tug on the lock, see if he can break it, but I doubt it.
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead and give me an athletics check. And as he's like stumbling around,
15.
Well, yeah, as he's stumbling around, he's like pulling and pulling, and he just steps on something. Feels like a bone for a moment. It snaps under his foot and makes him lose his footing, and he just kind of falls back in his cage, clinking hard, banging the back of his head on the metal rods.
Ow.
Bananas.
She just kind of looks like, please, escape? No. Besides, you are alive. There must be reasons. Maybe you aren't as put together of a group as I thought. Tricky. Yes. Successful in some accounts. And she kind of pulls Davis, you see it as she's been kind of like walking towards you. The black heartstone that you recognize, your heart-shaped stone. And then she also pulls out two other ones that have been shattered and broken. She's like, well, these belonged to the Swamp Sisters.
Yeah, but we killed them.
I know. Unfortunate, but
No, it wasn't.
they were annoying, weren't they?
Well,
And
in some ways.
yes.
But they weren't really nuisances. We took care of them, no problem.
Exactly. And that lies why I have a proposition. So you realize...
Sedge is gonna turn around in his cage so his back is at her.
Okay, that's fine. Let me see. Yeah, she doesn't care. Uh, so, my family, extended as it were, have been tending to this, well, filthy land, making it better, making it something that allows us to reap rewards. For you see, right now, you are an obstacle. We've had obstacles, but we've managed to get through it, fueled by, kind of rolls her eyes, the love of our family.
Hey, big one.
Yes?
Entertain me for just a second, please.
Oh,
In our lens, we call each other by something. If we're going to talk, what can I call you?
well, I am the hag known as Amy. Straight up Amy.
Amy.
Yeah. Mm.
You ever heard the phrase, you reap what you sow?
Oh, yes, and we intend to reap it fully.
But you sow seeds that are blighted.
Mm. Blighted for the likes of you. Just
You
crooked.
say something
giant.
about tending to a garden. However, you do know to grow anything in this world of materia, you require the sun.
Mm.
Do you
Not
think the
quite.
sun would take this blighted?
Oh, well, the sun, if it were to have its own prerogative, is not of a concern. And, frankly, the sun blindly casts its light, allowing us to use it as well. For the sun is quite arrogant, is it not?
Benevolent, as
Mm.
I would say.
Will
I'll
agree.
say that kind of under my
Mm.
breath, but kind of aggressively. Maybe
sure.
she'll catch it.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, you see that she squints, narrows her gaze, and starts walking over towards your cage a little bit more. But
I'm gonna hear her coming, and I'm not gonna turn around. I'm gonna
That's-
be that kind of guy.
gotcha. Like she just kind of because you weren't facing her. But anyways, so
Yep.
yeah. So now, as you have proven to be an obstacle, we tend to, well, want to get rid of them. However, there is a greater obstacle, a greater nuisance, and quite honestly, something that was, well, unforeseen by us sisters. And something that might be more of a threat, not just to our machinations, but to, well, your side of the world as well.
Can I insight check her?
Go for
I
it.
think she's full of shit.
Go for it.
I believe that's a dirty 20. Oh, no,
Dirty
well, yeah, no,
20.
sorry, this is dirty
Ooh.
20 because it's still, we're one level back. Yeah,
Yes.
so
Okay.
20.
So, feeling fairly like you're reading her and listening to her.
Basically, do I think that this is actually a bigger nuisance than us?
Oh, if you're focusing on that, then yes, this thing is definitely a bigger nuisance than you.
Okay.
Especially as she continues talking. If that's what you're focusing on, then yeah, because she will continue to talk. But Davis, as you're listening to her, she's the tricky one. She's the smart one. She's the
Right,
cunning,
which is why I
coy
want to
one.
make sure she's not pulling some
Everything she's saying is, from what you can tell, at least somehow, is rooted in something true, but she's not giving you everything.
shit. It's just
Like the
very
best
measured.
lies are, yes, exactly. She's definitely keeping back. She's definitely lying in some capacity, but she's lying by telling the truth, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Um, but as she continues, and Davis, you're trying to read, and says you're kind of back, and Marb is just kind of just freaking out that he can't see, and Dregnar's arms crossed in a huff. Al, you're still taking in all the magical senses around you.
I
Mhm.
did want to ask.
Yeah,
You
go for it.
mentioned when she first started walking around, the
Mhm.
fog was moving away from her, shifting away from her.
Just like it's like a
Um,
cloud. Like when she's part, it's like she's able to like move through and just parts. Not like nothing magical about it. Just you
okay.
know,
Then
yeah.
Al's
Like
main
think of
focus
it.
would go on.
I was gonna say, think of it almost like like a fog machine or a dry ice. You know how it kind of settles. It's more dense in the air, and she's just kind of walking through, and it's just kind of parting as she's walking through. That's kind of how this fog is.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah.
then Al's main focus would have been listening and getting tied in with thoughts, but in
Okay.
as a secondary, he would have been trying to watch the magic forms of
Mhm.
the fog to see if anything kind of takes a pattern or a shape. But if it does just
So
kind of feel like fog or chaos,
yeah,
he'd lose interest after like a few minutes.
I would say yeah. If you're just focusing in, it is a mess of energy. It is not nearly as dense or as potent as it was back in Deep Root. But because you actually had laid eyes on it before, you recognize that it's something similar. And this is likely, the results of that. To use like an analogy, the leaky faucet, you know, they had been siphoning and dripping the energy here for a long time. And it is coalesced and, well, into this fog that seems to only be on this side of reality, in the here between, not in materia proper. But yes, this nuisance that obstacle, I should say, sorry, that we were going to address with, well, borrowing some of the strengths of our kin, lead them here under the guise of an opportunity to serve Mother Dearest, that bountiful promise that they could bear fruits here, help the mother shine. But we've clearly found others that have more promise. And as this obstacle, if it were to go unchecked, well, it would be a problem, not just for us, but it would eventually come out of the here between.
Amy,
Yes,
you speak in semantics.
of course, it's fun.
Why? Why have you? Where have you brought us, and why did you keep us alive? You
Uh.
most certainly had a chance to kill us.
Yes. You are here on the ethereal here between. I figured. Well, and she kind of looks over towards Davis's cage. I thought you were familiar, having
He's
dealt with
new.
some of our sisters.
He's new.
Ooh. So, should we dispatch of him? He's not needed then, yes? He's not part of this obstacle? She kind of like starts grinning over to the cage. I don't know if you're looking at her
He's
size.
useful. I mean,
He's new, but he's proven himself every time already.
he took down a number of your kin while we were here.
Half.
Don't worry
As you say,
about it.
kin, she's a half kin.
Whatever. So can we just cut to the quick? Let's stop speaking in vague bullshit and just. Who are we? What are we doing? Where are we going? Like, I don't. What are we doing? And
Yeah,
what?
she
Proposition,
slides.
right?
Yeah, she slides over to your cage. Um,
I don't
Wow.
like back up or anything. I'm just holding fast.
no, I understand. Yeah. And Dragnar kind of steps forward with you, holding your grounds. And see, gusto, the two of you, clearly the entire group. Listen, you see, and she stares directly at you, Davis. You saw that I have one of your friends.
The blue guy?
Well, yes.
yeah.
He
where
told
is
you to
he?
run. Oh, I will show you.
I did.
Yeah. And then as she says she'll show you, she kind of flicks her wrist, and part like the belts that she has, one of the chains rattles, another chain rattles, and it just kind of floats towards you. And the door opens, and the chain wraps around and kind of forms a manacle essentially around your neck,
Oh wow. Okay.
and you're tied to her like quickly. Just it's magic kind of chain.
Right.
And then she starts moving, and y'all are basically being drug. And
Oh, so it gets both me and Dragnar?
yes.
Okay, damn.
And then she kinda
Otherwise
goes-
it's gonna be like
Dragging
Dragnar's
the
doing work.
cage.
No. She opened, like she moved her hand, and
Oh,
the
okay.
cage opened.
She's putting us on a chain
But
gang
as
tied to her, basically.
Yeah, and then
Gotcha,
essentially that's
gotcha.
what she's gonna do. And Davis, you saw this, like with the cage attached with Wiggs was attached to her, except in this case, it's not a cage; it's actually just you. And then she's gonna go towards Al, do the same thing.
So is it like choking me? Can I speak?
You can speak. Yeah, it's a little uncomfortable, and then
Okay.
she'll be like, "And you, blind bird, had the nerve to use one of our relics. Foolish bird." And then that again wraps around his neck, and then says,
I'm in
"She'll
this
come to you."
energy. Oh, okay.
But by all means, like, you have time, Sedge, if
So
you want to do
actually,
something or
I
something.
have a question.
Nope.
Mhm.
I honestly have no power at the minute. It would be too dangerous. So I'm gonna.
Yes, Davis, go ahead.
So, would Marb? He might not even realize he's not in the. He's in the ethereal plane. Like I guess there's been hints of what she said.
He heard her say, "You're in the here between now."
Okay,
Like, it's
okay,
fucking
okay.
Sedge. But yeah, no. Originally, maybe he had no idea.
Yeah. Come to
You
think
know,
of
he
it.
would've
I
saw
mean,
the
unless there's like
flashing light.
a sensory, like another sensory thing, like an auditory or like olfactory
Mhm.
sense or something like that, that would maybe hint at it.
I mean, if you wanted to roll real quick a perception check at
Nah, I
disadvantage,
think it's
because
I
it's
think
doing.
it's mostly
Yeah,
relevant.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So Sedge, she comes to you. You hear the door swing open, and then you feel
Actually,
around your neck.
well, so she kind of went like here, or she started here.
Yeah, y'all are
went to
basically being
Al.
like dragged.
So
Yeah. Do-do-do.
could I like try and steal a peek what's going on in the cauldron, if anything,
Yeah. by
while
all
we
means.
pass by?
Yep. You feel weakened by the manacles. You have one. All of you have a level of exhaustion,
Oh boy.
unfortunately, that are
Whoa.
chained up.
Uh,
After you.
well, I was gonna say, so can I look inside or try and see what's in the cauldron?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, just disadvantage.
Yeah, because of the exhaustion, right?
Yes, sir.
Okey-dokey.
I forgot to say earlier.
That's bad. This is what, perception?
Mm-hmm.
The big old ocho.
So, yeah, unfortunately, Davis.
Yeah, I'm getting choked
Um,
and dragged, so not looking
Yeah,
real
as
good.
you're. Yeah, she moves faster than you normally, so she's dragging y'all every, a bit. Y'all are struggling to kind of keep up.
Except for maybe Dragnar, he's just jogging.
Yeah, Ragnars's like, whatever. And then
Perfect.
she'll.
That plays into my question. I was gonna ask,
Uh-huh.
is she moving so fast that I'd probably tip over and be dragged, or can I keep up and stay on my feet? Per each person.
You're able to, because you're using basically your action to dash while she's walking, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
jeez. Okay.
So you'll see her,
Can
and
I
then
guidance the chain between us and guidance all of us?
That has
if
to be
only
a
it worked like that.
creature, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
Aw.
yeah.
A+ for effort. That was a good
Yeah.
job.
A plus.
But if the chain does a
Math,
skill check, it's gonna have an extra D4.
Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. But the chain is not your friend.
Skill
No,
check
I don't
against
want.
being broken.
Oops. That's so weird. I was putting
Yeah, it's like it jogged.
like
us
deselected.
to the
There you
side,
go.
that's weird.
Boonk. There you go.
Oh, she's lifting up the
420
boulder.
IQ plays turned gone wrong.
Yeah, so you'll see she lifts one of the boulders and sets it to the side. And then there's another set of cages. And why is it? I forgot all the hotkeys. I used to remember them to like switch layers quickly and stuff. Again. Here, you see another collection. Immediately, I'm not gonna make any of y'all do perception checks, but you do see curled up, though actively working on something, your Triton
I'm gonna try and run over there.
friend.
Can I? Like within this
Yeah, the
chain
chains let you
slide?
move a little bit. Yeah.
Just go over there and be like, hey, so yeah, we didn't make it.
He just looks at you, and you see, like, he's physically beaten. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, did you get some people out?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then she'll pull the cord and kind of rip you here.
Okay.
You can give me a strength check if you want to try to avoid it, but
Absolutely.
disadvantage because you're
Athletics or
exhausted.
strength?
It can be athletics.
Okay, yeah. Ooh.
Disadvantage.
Either one would have been bad, but then one of them was a natural one. It was a 1 and a 3.
Okay. Yeah, she rolled a natural 17 plus her bonuses, so you can just get yanked.
Yeah, so I roll a
she's
9
huge.
total.
Yeah, she rolls a lot more. More than
You
triple.
sure she doesn't have -8 to strength? You sure?
Yeah. So now you're like, she's like, no, she just looks at you. No disturbing him. He's busy at work. And she just kind of steps over you and kind of goes here and says, "Sisters, the ones that have, well, that will agree to help us, are here."
We haven't agreed
Before
to
you.
anything yet. We're still talking.
Oh, well,
You
if you
haven't
want,
explained what we need to do.
Well,
The
that's
contract wasn't
But
clear,
first,
okay?
but that's the fun part. Don't you just blindly agree?
hold up. I say
You
first,
blindly came here
formalities are
again.
important.
All right, formalities. What is it?
Can you invite us into your home? Very gracious, but can you introduce us to your sisters and her to them to us?
Yeah, okay. She'll say, by all means, we are going to be working with us because you essentially signed the contract when you came back. So the ones you see actually the 3 sisters, likely the coven. You're not too sure, but they seem to have similarities in garb and demeanor, though one of them obviously is much, much larger. We'll just kind of shift see. So one that you see seemingly dressed in a little bit more regal, if you were, even though it is twisted and warped, in old robes and like fine robery and all that. But however, it is covered in just stains and mud and moss and just all manner of things. Her jaw towards the bottom of it kind of splits to allow this massive slurping tongue to come out. That was the quote-unquote harvest hack. The other one, much smaller and almost looks frail in demeanor, however, is carrying on her back some sort of totem-like lattice structure of bones and flesh, peering yellow eyes. And then the giant Amy, as she does, "These are my sisters. We are the coven from the east. We've been dealing with your associates here. This one," and she rattles Wig's cage. And the other one is, sister, are they going to help?"
Maybe.
Clearly. "Oh, you wouldn't want," and then the bony one, you wouldn't want anything to happen to him or her. And I don't think they know this one. And he kind of steps away. You guys are kind of dragged forward just a bit as well. Forgive the boulders, yada yada. But yeah, you do see Hava in one of the cages, seemingly.
She looks like shit too, I assume.
Yeah. She's a very like unresponsive. Like you see that she's breathing and all that, but she's like broken. And then there's a.
Is she conscious, like blink eyes, or is she just out?
She is. She's just kind of staring though out.
1,000-yard stare. Got
Any
Kind of,
glimpse
yeah.
of recognition?
You can get an insight check me.
Sure. That's really bad. 8, I think. Yeah, 8. God, I'm rolling. Oh, actually,
kinda
sorry.
taken-
Hold on, let me roll at a disadvantage. Actually, the other one was a natural 20. God damn it.
Oh, damn. Yeah, no, unfortunately, that, like, she's there. Likely here for as long as Wiggs has been here, not longer. And so the hags, I'm not going to go through different voices, I'll try to, but if I mix up the voices, forgive me.
You're doing your best, and you're doing fantastic. It's okay.
Well, thank you.
That's
Thank you,
an
thank
army.
you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, yes, so, listen. Also, I would say, you do see some of you may have seen these before, but you do see a humanoid lion-like entity, commonly referred to as a leonin, strapped into his cage.
They've got their own menagerie.
Essentially,
Whoa.
yeah. Whoa. Not in as bad shape as the others two, but definitely hasn't been able to do much either. And the harvest hag will kind of slip through and kind of with her nail kind of rake it along the leonin's cage and see. So. Yes. The proposition, as it were. If you want them to live, you will, well, that one, and she kind of points over past y'all back to Wiggs. That one is working on a little device for us to help us find this obstacle, this nuisance, this threat to not just our plans, but to your realm as well. Just slathering and everything. And says, we were, I think, we were going to use some of, well, Amy's kin. And again, Amy pipes up as half kin. As foot soldiers and troops, but and the bone one goes, but you turned them to bones, dust. Bones and dust.
They were quite aggressive, what can I say?
Well, if you could do that, clearly you would like to help those around as you have come back to help others at this boulder fields. We will implore you to join in a little tracking, a little hunt for the threat. The threat that if it continues to consume and take the mists, well, it will eventually become something that none of us can stop. And all of our plans, well, they'll fall through. But then, who cares? Because your side of the world will also be in ruin.
So
So
while this is
this-
going on, can Marb? So Marb is gonna just be like feeling around, like
Sure.
he's, he's pretty aware. Like he's got pretty good perception. So he's
Yeah.
kind of playing up the fumbling around, and especially like
Okay.
he heard the little like brittle one,
Mhm.
and hears that the other two are kind of like talking and maybe not paying so much attention. So
Okay.
he's gonna like kind of, fumble around, feel this cage, like maybe feel the boulders a little bit, and then just kind of like essentially
Okay.
try and like take whatever he can off of the bone hang. If there's anything like loose that he can maybe get a hold on, and just like be like, oh, I'm sorry, I just can't see. Oh gosh,
Sure. So as you bump it, go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check at disadvantage.
Yep.
That's definitely
Can the
something
chain
you
do
do.
it because it doesn't have exhaustion and it has guidance?
Ha ha ha.
Guidance.
Oh, actually, it did all right. So -1 because of level, or did he level? He did level.
You did, yeah. All of you leveled.
Okay, so instead it would be 20, dirty 20.
20. As you go to reach for it, as like Barb kind of stumbles and bumps into her, the hag very quickly with this like bonish, like it looks like this large bone that has been just like filed and turned into some sort of walking stick, just cracks him across like in the temple.
It's like, oh gosh, I can't see. I'm just trying to figure out where things are.
Oh, not level 9 officially, but Al, shut up. I hate you. Actually,
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then Marb takes, with that swift crack across the beak, 6 points of bludgeoning damage. And like his
You'll have to
forehead
mark it.
just splits. Yeah, well,
Oops.
it's like forehead splits, and she's
Gah!
like, "No,
Well,
not touching.
there's a bad person there, I guess.
Not bad. Different. I could. You know, your beak is actually kind of nice. I would like to add it."
Now,
I'm gonna-
listen. If you
I would
need
try to
our
interrupt
help, I don't think you should hurt.
Oh, well. Clearly, y'all have hurt. Y'all have hurt all of our other sisters. You have trinkets and tokens, and this one, the one that she just cracked, says Marb, this one even had one of our blades. Oh, poor blind birdie. And she just mockingly starts like tweeting. Starts kind of stepping away.
Yeah, how very nice of you to just leave it around. You don't pick up to after yourselves very well, now do you?
Amy will kind of boom with her voice just a little bit. Like, the proposition. Pleasantries later.
Amy, I think we should talk. Later, sure. But I do want to hear more about you, your sisters, your plight.
Oh, our plights
Now,
will become your plight.
Don't be cruel to your guests. Because it seems to me like both of our existences are intertwined, and fate has been cruel to you. If you truly think that we could help, perhaps there's something in it for both of us.
Yeah, I told you he's good at this kind of stuff. You mentioned our friend here in the cage is working on a device. Is it a magic device? I think we can help each other, but I keep cutting you off. This is a proposition. Please.
Well, let me
Please.
put it bluntly, Amy, now that I have your listening ear, along with the rest of your sisters here. If your existence is to be continued, and there is something like a threat that you're describing to us looming over you, your existence might be numbered.
We
it's
could
numbered.
run.
I say it out loud.
Yeah, no, I get you. And let's see if she cares. And she really just doesn't care. She's so. I keep rolling for her, and she's just like, man, whatever.
That's
Negative five,
fantastic.
you give it a shit.
Yeah. She's like, going to the one who asked, I think it was Al. She's like, oh, well, the entity, the obstacle, the one that we need to track, is an amalgamation of artifice, flesh, and the psionic spectrum. Something, well, that awoken, and as we started to mention, is gorging itself on the beautiful mist, getting stronger, larger, and more as a threat. If it were to, well, get bored on this side and rake its way over to yours, we all lose. Our proposition is simple. Your friend with the gills in the fence, he's been slaving away at a device that this one, and she'll kind of, the one with the harvest one will kind of, again, rake her claw against the one with the leonin, that this one, this particular skill set, will help you track. He was going to, well, guide my half-kin, but y'all have proven yourselves more capable.
Then
And
those
as a
idiots? Yeah. Anything's more
they
capable than
are
those guys.
idiots, but
They weren't very smart.
the beauty of it is you give them something to believe in, and that belief is so strong. Our mother loves the taste of that strength.
You'll find us quite a bit more smarter, which means
Davis
to
looks off
convince
like,
us is quite a bit more expensive, if that
It's
makes sense.
it's quite simple. You help, you return, your artifice friend, the Leonin, the lady, and all of you return to the material. You don't. Well, we could have killed you at any point. But
But you
what's
need
the
help.
fun in that? Well, you're the most direct route to success.
I'm gonna hard stare at Davis and say, this amalgamation sounds like it could be bigger than us or them. Maybe it's worth a shot to, I don't know, continue listening at least.
I don't think we have much of a choice. So
The one with the tusks. Smart. You really don't.
I'm gonna just chuckle.
Practical,
Outclaps twice.
not so much smart.
Interesting. So she'll start.
But I've been involved in negotiations before, and I know when one side's generally holding all the cards. And I know that you don't have to do anything if you don't want to. It's anything that you give us to do is pretty much going to be almost entirely in your benefit. I understand that.
And in yours.
We'll see.
So as you were having this, the little bone hag walks over, and you see, and you kind of hear her rummaging through a pile. Any of you that want to, you can give me perception checks.
Now I want to go look at this guy.
Okay.
We have exhaustion.
You guys all have exhaustion.
Damn it.
Actually, real quick, I'll kind of just like try and get Hava's just sort of
Hava,
any sort of like consoling look I can, and then just kind of move on.
yeah. Quickly glancing her, you see where, there's deep bruising and gashing in different places where she's been bound and gagged and all that. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll just
But
kind of give
again,
her like
just kinda-
hold on, just hang in there type thing.
Yeah, so you see a male Leonin, and this is where I get to have fun. Kyle, you still here?
Ooh.
Kyle, you alive? Kyle.
Make sure you
Kyle.
unmute too.
Kyle. Suki.
Damn it, Ka!
Sorry, I was double muted.
Yeah, you were double muted.
It's okay.
All right. What do they see?
Can you tell me how big is the cage? Am I like sitting down?
You're able to stand. I mean,
Stand?
it's about 10 feet by 10. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay. So essentially after kind of the discourse, or as they started addressing me and all that, Otis stood up, and you'd see a pretty tall, about 6'7", humanoid figure, face of a like a regular lion, pretty close, maybe a little broader and a little shorter on the muzzle. Tawny golden hair, fur, instead of skin, fur, whatever you prefer it to. And the mane kind of carries that color and slowly darkens into sort of a reddish tint on by the end. A pair of matching scars kind of mark up the sides of my head, basically between where the outside of your eye and your temple are, kind of mirroring each other up to the hairline of the mane. Would I have my armor and stuff on, or not so much?
you do not.
Okay, so then it's probably in like light
Leonid with a leotard.
yes.
Yes.
a light tan tunic and some leather breeches, coming down to just normal boots. Tail same color as my body, but with a black tuft at the tip. Pretty broad-shouldered. Maybe kind of like the hands are much more. They're less paw-like, but much more, human kind of in how they look. But except for you can see just at the tips, some black claws just kind of hanging out right near the end of the tips of the fingers. If that's most of
Also, I assume looks worse for wear in the sense that he's probably downtrodden some.
Worse for wear, but not nearly as bad as Wiggs or Hava.
More importantly, does it look like I could beat him in an arm wrestling contest?
It would be very close.
Fuck! He's tall and he's
Final
strong.
information.
What am I doing here?
I don't, I don't, obviously you didn't say that, but just something, I kind of like tilt my head and you just see a bicep flex a little bit.
you motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you.
How long until Dave says, average?
Yeah. So yes. Welcome, Kyle, whose character has not been named yet to the group. He's going to be joining us for the time. If not, kind of wanted to keep it more of a secret this time go around. We kind of had a plan.
That's cool.
Cool.
That sideswiped me hard.
Nice to meet you. But we're gonna meet your actual
Pleasure.
character.
Yes. So we're gonna go ahead. I know we started a little later, but we're gonna go ahead and take a break, get some beverages, go to the bathroom, whatever. Let's call it. Be back at 9. Let's say 35, 40 past the hour. Sound good?
Okay.
Cool, guys.